all your Yaka bills conveniently. Open the My Airtel app to buy Yaka units. Airtel Money. Simple, secure, borderless.
Hello and good evening once again. Welcome to the UBC News Tonight. My name is Wadulo Arnold, bringing you the news tonight. Now let's take a look at the headlines before we start out our bulletin tonight. First tonight, NUP ends FDC's honeymoon in Parliament. Many flock vaccination centers for COVID-19 jab. And in sports, Bull FC edge Pro Line and now IS semi-final slot in the Uganda Cup. Thank you for joining us once again. We now give you the news in detail. Mugalu Muhammad is on sign language. Deputy Speaker of Parliament Anita Amonganet has expressed readiness to work with the leadership of opposition in the House. This assurance comes after the appointment of National Unity Platform's Matthias Mpuga as the new leader of opposition. Among, however, warns the unimaginable consequences in the event of indiscipline and dramatizing of parliamentary operations. These are the details.
The wait for the new opposition leadership in Parliament is no more. Matthias Mpuga of Nyendo Mukungwe in Masaka City is the new leader of opposition. His Manjia counterpart in Bududa, John Baptist Nambeshe, is the new opposition chief whip. Both are members of the National Unity Platform Party.
We only need to focus on the best, not looking for the negatives from the side of the government, but of course the positives.
Other opposition-leaning MPs have also been appointed. Mityana Municipality MP Francis Zake is the new Commissioner of Parliament, while Medad Lubega Segona is the Chairperson Public Accounts Committee. Former Chairperson LC5 Gulu, Ojara Mapendozi, is the Chairperson Local Government Accounts Committee, as Betty Namboze is headed to chair Government Assurances Committee.
And we should learn to tolerate each other. I hope we are not going to have a repeat of people breaking microphones and breaking chairs. Instead of standing on the microphone and articulate your ideas.
We, as the leadership of Parliament, are willing to work with the Honorable Mpuga. He's a very polished person, very, very polished and very hardworking and understanding. He has all the experience that is required. He's one person who can bring some kind of sanity in the House.
They are, however, warned against any acts legally and morally deemed unbecoming at Parliament.
We are going to work in harmony. We are not going to, not that we will not tolerate, but we are going to try to be patient with each other and understand each other, and we work together.
Since the return to multi-party democracy in 2006, Forum for Democratic Change FDC has enjoyed the opposition leadership in Parliament, having had majority MPs in the House. With majority legislators in the House now, National Unity Platform has broken this record. Matthias Mpuga is the new leader of opposition, as expectations among veteran legislators remain high.
What role can we play in supporting the executive and the people of Uganda to move forward. If it means constitutional amendments, they should allow for that to happen. If it means reforming the agricultural program, they should allow that to happen.
The appointment of the new leadership of opposition in Parliament comes barely a week since the Speaker and Deputy Speakers of the 11th Parliament were elected. Henry Okurut, UBC.
In another development, the outgoing government chief whip Ruth Nankabirwa has petitioned NRM Party Secretary General Justin Kasule Lumumba over the conduct of the former Speaker of Parliament Rebecca Alitwala Kadaga for undermining the SEC position. This is after she decided to stand against Jacob Olanya as the NRM candidate to steer the 11th Parliament. Nankabirwa wants Kadaga to apologize to the President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
The outgoing National Resistance Movement Chief Whip and former Kiro Government Member of Parliament Ruth Nankabirwa wants former Speaker of Parliament Rebecca Alitwala Kadaga to apologize for disrespecting his decision. This follows Rebecca Kadaga's decision to stand as independent candidate in the speakership race against the position of SEC that they all support Olanya's
been breaching. But this level is too high. Number two is a big position. So, and we need her in the party. So, in order for us to move smoothly, I am requesting for 3 things. One is an apology to the President.
The outgoing vocal government chief whip disclosed that her party has...
They don't encourage impunity, and that if we don't really make sure that people are as usual.
Ruth Nankabirwa disclosed that she's set to mend ties with the outgoing Speaker Rebecca Kadaga and push the party agenda forward.
And I will look for her as a young sister so that we cement the relationship. I'll have to look for her. And if there is anything that I did that requires an apology from me, I will offer the apology.
In the hotly contested race, Olanya Ganata, UBC News.
Now, in another development, the ministry...
In just 7 days alone, we have received 1,300 COVID-19 cases.
The joint COVID-19 bulletin, which aired last night, seemed to have been a better option to send an alert as many braced the morning and afternoon sunshine of Friday 28th May 2021 to go for vaccination at different centers.
And also we had a joint surge in COVID numbers. And I think that is largely what has translated into these numbers.
The Ministry of Health has since Thursday 27th May 2021 been receiving those yearning for vaccination.
I would really want to encourage young people especially that please take up these jabs. They are very, very important. If you cannot put on a mask, if you cannot social distance, if you cannot sanitize your hands, then you must.
Students left early their beds to come in this place to at least take their COVID-19 vaccination jab. However, to the Ministry of Health, this still remains a drop into the ocean.
For most people within their communities, people are testing positive, and people are getting into hospital admission. So people are starting to see the reality of what we have been communicating.
Among those who couldn't miss out were the former presidential candidate John Katumba and a colleague Samuel Senono.
Fellows of tomorrow, we need to work hard. It is like we are in together or we perish.
I was here today to take my second dose. I'm now fully vaccinated, but that doesn't mean that if the fact that I'm fully vaccinated, I'll go back home and relax. No, I'll keep following those reasonable SOPs. The SOPs are reasonable, and I'll keep adhering to what has been put in place.
According to the Ministry of Health, non-adherence to the COVID many lives.
I was interacting with a doctor in the ICU, and he told me that with COVID, Mr. Senono, with COVID, it's more like building a plane and at the same time flying it. So we are into uncharted, territories, murky waters. There are very many unknowns, but herd immunity, the desired herd immunity, which is required for total annihilation of this virus, then let's go vaccination.
My other fellow presidential candidates, life matters. We prefer life. I would love all of you to come and also get a vaccination. It's not bad. You come. Now it is not politics.
However, if people comply, people stop frequenting bars that are still under lockdown. People stop attending parties without observing social distance.
Robert Onyango, UBC News, Kampala.
Yes, now to that effect, Uganda Police Force has re-echoed its commitment to enforcing the COVID-19 preventive measures. This comes at a time when the country is facing a second wave of COVID-19, as you all know. Let's take a look at these details.
Uganda Police Force is to strengthen its operations against those faulting COVID-19 standard operating procedures across the country. This follows an emergence of yet another COVID-19 infection wave, mainly in Kampala, Wakiso, Amuro, and Gulu, among others.
By getting you on the road after 9, we take it to the police station or a football field where we shall guard, and you leave your vehicle there, you walk on foot. And it will cut us through, cut across. We are going to do it pro rata. Whether you are a permanent secretary, whether you are a director, whether you are a businessman, whether you are a journalist, we are going to handle you in the same way. And we don't expect you to ring anywhere because nobody is going to listen to you.
Among the main faulters of the guidelines aimed at preventing the spread of COVID-19 are border riders because of their continued defiance.
But we are going to be tough on the borders. For us, we are taught that discipline is self. If you don't have a self-discipline, then you will have enforced discipline.
Members of the public are also advised to consider proper observance of the set regulations before hard force projection.
Let them comply. Let them not look at them into caring for their own lives. It is about our lives. Because if these facilities are full, now what do we do?
On the status of COVID-19 within the force, Uganda Police appealed to the Ministry of Health to add them more vaccines to cater for those officers.
We are also at a risk. We meet members of public, they come to report cases. So our officers actually need the vaccines. They know, we tell them, but they are fully aware they interact with the members of public on a daily basis. So they want it more than anybody else.
Uganda Police Force is among the institutions that are severely hit by the new wave. Just recent, the force lost one of its senior officers to COVID-19 infection. The DPC Kira Police Division, Matthias Tudia Singura, succumbed to COVID-19 this week, though it's not clear whether he had received the first jab of COVID-19 vaccine. Abdul Nasir Lubwama, UBC News.
There you go. Now, in another development, Palliative Care Association has held its annual general meeting where it elected a new board. This is where an essential package to support children and adults with life-threatening illnesses was also launched. These are the details.
Palliative Care Association of Uganda has launched an essential package for universal health coverage in Uganda. The package is geared at ensuring that no children and adults with life-limiting illnesses are left behind while assessing palliative care services.
Such that you should access treatment if you are sick without selling your property. For example, let me use that example, without selling your property. And we know it happens especially with such conditions or diseases like the treatment for cancer.
These will provide essential palliative care medicines, technology, supplies, and human resource development.
The people who are working towards the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goal are available in this country or in this health facility as they do their work.
Palliative Care Association has conducted its annual general meeting in Kampala and installed new board members to serve voluntarily. A new board member, Grace Naiga, believes that palliative care is directly linked to respect to human rights.
Even where someone has the most difficult pain, morphine can deal away with the pain. To say that we preserve the dignity of someone, they die without so much pain that would otherwise be avoided.
Let the hospital have links, connections and networks with faith leaders who can offer spiritual care, with counselors who can offer counseling and support, with legal aid services.
There's no way we can achieve universal health coverage without taking into consideration the health rights of palliative care patients.
Meanwhile, in the year 2020, PICA offered 23 scholarships for diplomas in palliative care nursing and clinical palliative care. Accomplished the implementation of 3 pain-free hospital initiatives, trained 300 persons on infection prevention and control, and as well disseminated SOPs for continuity for palliative care amidst COVID-19. World Health Organization estimates that 40 million people are in need of palliative care. Palliative care services are present.
Now, today in history, the 28th day of May 2019.
Today in history.
Today marks 3 years since Uganda's former Prime Minister, Apollo Nsibambi, passed on. Apollo Robin Nsibambi died on 28 May 2019 at the age of 78 years, and his death, according to a post-mortem report, was caused by a blood clot in his lungs. He was born on 25th October, and from 1985 until 1987, he was appointed head of the Department of Political Science at Makerere University in 1987, a position he held until 1990. He was the director of the Makerere Service in the cabinet of Uganda. In 1998, he was appointed Minister of Education and Sports, serving in the capacity until 1999, when he was appointed Prime Minister and leader of government business in Parliament. His death was today in history.
We've cut and reduced our MTN Momo withdrawal rates. Now you can withdraw mobile money at the lowest rates. You also get MTN Senchu points when you deposit, send, and withdraw MTN mobile money. Visit our Momo agents countrywide and withdraw mobile money at our reduced rates from 1st May 2021. Everywhere you go, MTN.
Mukazanyo ka chess kisoboka ebitono okufuuka ebinene. Kyekimu wano na wano. Tunula nkaliriza buli lutambula. Wandiika buli namba osobole okweteekati. Nga tofuddeyo ku bunene bwa kirooto kyo. Manya nti abawanguzi b'enkya beeba bakuuma ebitabo byabwe nga biyonjo.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.
Ekya COVID-19 kijja kugwa. If we get vaccinated now, observe social distancing, wear masks properly, sanitize or wash our hands with soap and water regularly. Together we can defeat this enemy.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too!
Oh, dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 4 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
In efforts to improve quality assurance and Uganda's competitiveness as a tourist destination, Uganda Tourism Board is set to undertake a nationwide grading and classification exercise of hotel and accommodation facilities. As a member of the East African community, Uganda subscribes to the East African Grading and Classification Criteria, a system denoted by stars ranging from 1 to 5. The grading and classification exercise will be crowned by the awarding of star ratings to facilities found compliant to the EAC minimum standards. This is therefore a call to all accommodation and facility owners and managers to register and get licensed by UTB as a requirement and get ready for participation. For more information, visit www.utb.go.ug or email qualityassurance@utb.go.ug for details. Uganda Tourism Board, promoting tourism together.
The Uganda Bureau of Statistics, in collaboration with Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, will conduct the National Livestock Census starting on the 24th of May to the 4th of June 2021. The census is aimed at obtaining information on the structure and organization of the livestock sector and will collect data on all livestock types, breeds, and ownership by sex, land ownership, and tenure systems. The livestock census will be conducted in all the 135 districts of Uganda and will collect data from household-based firms as well as private large-scale and institutional firms. The indicators derived from the National Livestock Census will inform evidence-based planning and policy formulation. This is to inform and request all stakeholders at national, local government, sub-county, parish levels and all farmers to cooperate with enumerators and provide accurate information. For inquiries, please call 0757 779992 or 077 33 17660.
Where's Bob? Anyone seen Bob?
Bob? Put in there. With my Airtel Money MasterCard.
Airtel Money MasterCard? But you don't even have a bank account. How did you get a card?
Well, it's not a card, but it works just like one. It's virtual, so no plastic, and it's safer.
But what are you doing there?
I want to buy Nancy a birthday gift, book my flight tickets, renew my Big Click subscription, and order shipment.
For all things online, the Airtel Money MasterCard. It's not a card, but works just like one. Get one on the Airtel Money menu on your phone.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight, broadcasting live from Nile Avenue. Also awarded 9 commercial banks for supporting its quest to spur Uganda's social and economic growth through improved revenue collection. The awards were in 3 categories, and these are compliance and innovation and client service.
Uganda Revenue Authority has awarded Citibank the most compliant bank accolade, Diamond Trust Bank as the best client service bank, and GT Bank as the most innovative bank. This was at the 5th annual Uganda Revenue Authority Bank Conference in Kampala. This year's event tackled the issue of transparency between the revenue body and the financial institutions.
We are resetting the use of data in our organization. There is so much information, our own data, as you are a third-party data. All we are doing now is to integrate that data, analyze it so that whatever decision and steps we take, they are guided by information and accurate information. So we are resetting our services to the taxpayer. Like the business, our private sector says the customer is the king. The taxpayer is our king. Ours is to humbly serve. So we are re-engaging our taxpayers. We are listening to them more. We want to understand their businesses so that we support them as they support us in revenue collection.
The risks of collections and remittance of tax collections by commercial banks was one of the issues discussed. The banks were urged to be nationalistic in regard to the issues of transparency.
So it's important that we look at it critically and strategically and ensure that you still retain your relationship and confidentiality, but that the customers understand that we must pay tax. And then us, if I put on my Assistant Auditor General hat, our job is to ensure that all taxes paid are properly utilized for the services of the people. That is a more difficult part.
The bankers also promised unwavering support to the revenue collecting body.
On the part that is a public good, we have to collaborate. And the cultural change is a public good. And so that's why the collaboration in education is important, because public goods are by nature expensive to deliver by private entities. And so on the part of cultural change, it's absolutely important that we come to the table together to create transformation.
The Commissioner General, Uganda Revenue Authority, John Musinguzuru-Joki, said the institution is going to sensitize the public and forge partnerships in order to enhance tax compliance. Dennis Igor for UBC Business.
In another development, the newly elected leaders of Owino Market have been urged to maintain peace and harmony and focus on the development of the market. Now, this follows the suspension of the old leadership and taxes imposed on the vendors. The new leadership was interacting with the Kampala resident city commissioner, Hudu Hussein, and warned them against being used by political propagandists. These are the details.
Owino Market current leadership is looking for ways of improving livelihoods of the vendors operating in Uganda's biggest market. The acting chairperson of Owino Market, Susan Kushaba, is spearheading the drive.
We have to work for the people and to see that what the president wants is to see that this is not harassed in the market. So we were here to learn how to lead, to streamline our leadership, and the RCC really guided us very well.
This was during an interaction with the Kampala resident city commissioner Hud Hussein. He warned them against being used by political propagandists. Exploitation of Owino Market vendors made the appointing authority to sign up Susan Kushaba as the acting chairperson of Owino Market for its revival. With the help of the current leadership, Kushaba is in the process of ensuring that Owino Market benefits the vendors without exploitation. Kushaba told the new leaders of the market that government is willing to support them fully to improve their welfare. She, however, cited some of the challenges the market is encountering.
Some people in LOCs, because we have people in LOCs that collects money from vendors. Like when a truck comes, that person collects money from them.
Kampala resident city commissioner Hud Hussein asserted that he is to support Susan Kushaba provided he serves the interests of the people.
The initiative of having the grassroots leadership is something that I cannot rubbish. I fully embrace it because, as we are all aware, this leadership, the leadership of this country, President Museveni and his team, believe in giving power to the people. And for the last 30 years, as we may be aware, Owino has not been having these leaders at the grassroots level. Yet it's a very big market with so many people. So when Susan came up with this kind of initiative, I thought I should embrace it.
Hud Hussein warned vendors against being used by self-seeking politicians and urged them to desist from being used and warned critics of the market.
The focus is on development. As we are all aware, the president of this country issued a directive of ensuring that we don't allow multiple taxes in the markets. There are leaders who are exploiting the vendors in this country, overcharging them, and unfortunately, the anger is not put on these leaders. The anger is unfortunately put on the president. So when he learned of this, he definitely had to stop this. and all the former leadership has been put aside.
Owino Market seems to have the zeal the acting chairperson is having to transform the market and bring it back to its former glory. Sudat Kaye, UBC.
And now on the international scene, French President Emmanuel Macron visited Rwanda this week as part of a process aimed at confronting France's past without repentance or denial. By acknowledging France's role in the 1994 Rwandan genocide, the French president sought to turn the page on 27 years of diplomatic tensions. The official's visit aimed at turning the page on the persistent tensions between France and Rwanda over this tragic chapter. And it's part of a broader policy of looking history into the face that Macron established at the beginning of his term.
Respect à vos côtés ce jour. Je viens reconnaître nos responsabilités. Mais la France a un rôle, une histoire et une responsabilité, celui de regarder l'histoire en face et de reconnaître la part de souffrance qu'elle a infligée au peuple rwandais en faisant trop longtemps prévaloir le silence sur l'examen de la vérité.
Definitely an honorable gesture, the French president speaking those words to the Rwandese and, acknowledging their role in the genocide. Very, very honorable. Otherwise, we've come to the end of our 8 o'clock bulletin. Let's take a look at our headlines before we can sign out. In our headlines tonight, NUP ends FDC's honeymoon in Parliament. Police to fault officers who do not enforce SOPs. Furthermore, many flock vaccination centers for COVID-19 jab. And coming to you at 10 o'clock, Bull FC Edge Pro Line and Now I semi-final slot in the Uganda Cup. Thank you for joining us once again, but please do join us again at 10 p.m. for a lengthier bulletin. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold. Mugalu Muhammad on sign language. We now give you the weather with Millie.
Rainfall. And by name this morning, Alwa had the highest of 18.7 millimeters, Kasese with 0.2 millimeters. Kutesa Mili with today's weather forecast. This is due to the ridging over the tip of South Africa that has pushed the rain belt far north of our country and west. That is the rainfall that we are receiving in northern part of our region, but the rest of the area it is due to the local effects. Tomorrow morning though, we expect to wake up with sunny intervals in almost every part of our country, apart from some few areas in Lake Victoria. Afternoon hour, though, we expect a pickup of light showers across the shores of Lake Victoria, but the rest of the place will continue with sunny intervals. Temperature rise up to 31 degrees, that is northern part of our region, 30 across Jinja, our capital city Kampala with 29, in the lowest with 25 degrees. To move around the globe, we're forecasting sunny conditions across Mombasa and Dubai, with a maximum of 39 degrees in Dubai. Moscow and New York, I expect to have light showers with a maximum of 12 degrees Celsius across New York.